Games is pretty cool. Me, I'm a gamer. I don't know about you. If you're a gamer, that's cool. I'm a gamer. Sometimes I found myself not being able to jump into something new. But all that changed once I kind of reframed that for myself. I started finding games that could bring whole new experiences and also scratch that itch for entertainment. I'm talking about the games that are kind of like comfort food. The games that you're playing that are palate cleansers between big titles. There are these big cinematic 80-hour epics. The ones that demand your full attention, emotional stability, and probably a second monitor for Wikipedia pages. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about easy concepts and mechanics that you can just kind of hop into, figure out really quickly, and just work through the game and play the game and maybe even beat the game. All of these games that I talk about are games that I beat within one or a few sessions. The Inbetweeners are the unsung heroes of your gaming library. These are the titles that you pick when you need a palate cleanser between the big games. Inbetweeners can be something comforting that won't fry your last brain cell. Or maybe you're waiting for the laundry to finish. They're lighthearted, they're fun, they're easy to pick up and put down. And most importantly, they don't expect anything from you except for you to have fun with them. Sometimes I just want to be a hero that loops around and brings back the reality of old, bit by bit, from gods that I don't know and from an abyss that I don't remember. Maybe I want to revisit the 64-bit era and play a game that's a little spooky but tons of fun and has to do a lot with countries and crow. Maybe I want to be an executive at a movie studio that I created and run and put out movies, good or bad, and hopefully hire people and get bigger office, and I'm a tycoon. Games like Skele Seller, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but you're essentially a skeleton who becomes a vendor or trader and builds a little empire of trading using adventurers who are getting loot from their adventures and bringing them back to you, and you store it in your warehouse until you sell them. It's a really good, interesting concept. It's got farming and fishing, and I love farming and fishing. That's going to be a common thing as well on all of my list here of Inbetweeners. Or Tiny Terrace, which is a game that is also very simple and has farming in it. You also are a little guy at first, and then you get other little guys, and you can name the little guys, and it's fun. It's something that kind of takes both the art, which is very simple, the music, which is simple, and the sound design, which is simple, but they all together make this cohesion that is charming and fun to kind of be in that world. I spent hours and hours playing this game, and I genuinely didn't know what time it was by the time that I stopped. It was one of those things where I wanted to take breaks, but I ended up being like, oh no, one more thing. Oh, I'll click on this thing. Oh, what is this? I just wanted to figure it out, and that's really what I loved about Tiny Terrace. The Inbetweeners need to be something that are easy to grasp. You know, you want something that isn't going to break the bank when it comes to your mental capacity. And so something like Dome Keeper is so great, where they send you these mechanics, but you're able to visually understand very quickly. And and they're just kick ass. Like, there's a sword in this game that acts exactly the way that you want it to. And it's intuitive the way that it works. But they also have guns and lasers and missiles, and they all work the way that you think they do too, but they all work very differently, and it's something that if you had to learn painstakingly, some kind of learning curve, it wouldn't be as fun. But for the fact that it is just something that you can hop into the dome and just start doing, that's kind of part of why it's so fun. The Dome Keeper has so many different mechanics, but they're nothing that I had to spend too long to really figure out, and I also had fun experimenting with. Inscryption's another game. That is not an Inbetweener. Inscryption's not an Inbetweener. I think that Inscryption on its face is something that could be an Inbetweener, because it presents as just a card game, but then you realize that it's so much more. But you're probably realizing that too late. And then maybe that's the cool thing. Maybe that's the cool thing I like about Inscryption, actually. Is that it makes you think that it's going to be one of those smaller in-between games, and then you realize, oh no, and you realize way too late, oh, this game is doing a lot of other stuff. Wow, okay, interesting. I don't know if I talked about Megabonk. Megabonk's great. Megabonk's one of those games where you kind of hop in and you have no idea what to expect, and you're just picking up these power-ups and you don't necessarily know what these power-ups are, and you're like experimenting and you're like going through, and then all of a sudden you're like have this feeling like you're God and you're invincible until you're not, and then you're terrified. It's a roller coaster. It's also fun because each of the characters kind of play differently as well. There's like a skateboarder, and that is a lot of fun. My favorite character is the cowboy. The cowboy has guns that are pretty fun. So I think that, yeah, Megabonk's also one of those things that definitely does not take itself serious at all. Even something like SteamWorld Dig was something that I think I played 7 hours of it. It was like the perfect in-between game when I was going from something like Death Stranding, which was gut-wrenching and very story and very emotionally invested, to the next big game, which was Dune Awakening. Had some story and definitely had some emotion and stuff invested. It was just more of a huge, big, open world kind of like survival game that definitely requires your attention at all times playing. Balatro is also another one that it can be considered an in-betweener, but I think Balatro is something that's something I want to be playing all the time. But no matter where the game sits on the spectrum of fart jokes or deep ritual cultural piece that keeps your engagement, I don't always have the time or mental capacity to play a game like Blueprints or invest myself in a 3-part saga like Mass Effect or become Indiana Jones. But I want to. I absolutely want to. So with that said, I want to keep playing games. And so what I've decided to do is kind of search out and find these smaller experiences, these bite-sized, but also impactful games that can help me through the in-between times. I think the best part about this concept or this reframe that I have, it's not something that is immediately defined or conceptualized. It's something that's more kind of tailored to your taste. Whatever form they take, the in-betweeners are the unsung heroes of our gaming libraries, because those are the games that keep us playing when we don't have the energy for anything else. But yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you guys agree. Let me know what your in-betweeners are. Let me know below what your in-betweener games are, and if there are games that you think that I should check out for myself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it.